Among the least utilized spaces in any home are corners. Hello, this is the Garage Woodworker. Today we're going to show you how to build a simple project that will take advantage of corners. This can be a shelf like what we're going to build today, but it can be expanded to be a drawer or anything else you want. So here we provide the basic idea and you can run with it. The only important dimension that you have to worry about will be the distance between stands that traditionally are 16-inch centers. So the length of your shelf could be, let's say 17-18 inches or 30 or something like that. You want a multiple that will be able to hit 1 or 2 studs, so you will have stability and you can put something like a book or something like that on it. So let's get started. So we decided to give a little more character to our shelf and make instead of a straight edge to have a semicircle. Since our studs are 16 inches from the wall, we're going to go to 18 inches and we're going to show you a simple way to do this using a tape measure and a pen. I wonder if I would have worked better if we put the pen actually there. You know what I mean? That's good for now. Right, you want me to start then? We have positioned our 8x4 sheet of plywood so we can make a rough cut first and then we're going to take it to the bandsaw and make a more precise cut. Make sure to clamp it because there will be a lot of movement here in the wood. So you need to cut outside your line here so you can then formulate it exactly on the line. By making a circular piece, not only your corner gives you more space, but also you're using less material. Yeah. Now that we're done cutting the first, we need to cut a second exactly the same dimension. So we're going to use our first cut and draw a line for our second cut. If you plan to build a drawer, at this point you should probably build 4 of them, and the only difference is that the last 2 will have to account for the sides, and so they will be a little bit shorter. So we marked it, as you see, and now we're going to make the rough cut again and the final cut.
Yeah.
What an unfortunate time to need a new battery. That is why it's a good idea to have multiple batteries and stick with 1 or 2 brands of tools. As you can see, doing it this way allow us the best use of the material with much less waste than if we were to cut across. That will actually have brought it this way and will not have allowed us to make another corner one from the same piece. We'll have to go to the other side and be very wasteful in our material. For the sides, we're going to use some of the remnants that we have from our center plank project, our shutters. So we don't want this to be that thick. So we are going to cut it in half, but you could potentially leave it this thickness as well if you want a deeper kind of an open shelf. Because we decided to butt the ends, we need at least one of the ends to be absolutely perfect, so that's what we just did. And now we are going to mark them so we know how to cut them. Now you can get fancy here and do a 45 if you want, but keep in mind that in our design this will not be feasible. If you're going to have this as an open design, then you want to make everything look absolutely perfect, but in our case this will not be visible at all, so we do not really care if it is perfect or not. So one is shorter as we need, so this goes here. And this is our dry fitting, and as you see, Even at this stage, you could leave this as just like that, or reverse it so it has support. But what we plan to do is to create a little shelf that actually doubles our space by putting the second one on top. However, do not put the second one on top until you have this on the wall, otherwise you will have a hard time making the connections to the wall, especially here at the end. It will be okay here because the stud is very close. In our case, we only have this 18 inches deep. But if you make it deeper or something, that will make it harder. So make sure that you leave this open, and only after you attach it to the wall you put the top on. And again, you can turn this upside down. You can make a drawer using the exact same technique. The only difference is that your new cut, as you can see here, will have to be shorter. So the diameter will be shorter, and then you're going to make a front and you have a nice drawer. We're not going to do that in our application. Do you have staples in this stapler? Securing this with glue and some brad nails. Of course, the glue will provide most of the strength. And we're going to put some glue, of course, here. This will be our bottom, so the finished part of the plywood will be on top. I think we need batteries again on this thing. As you can see, you can attach it like this or like this, but in our case, remember, we're going to put the top on. And of course, you can finish it. You can stain it in any way. We are not going to do anything yet until we actually put it on the wall. Okay, let's go inside. This will be a very strong shelf, but if you plan to put something heavy on top, it will make sense to put a middle divider like we have done here. And of course, you should edge band the plywood, and we are not going to do that because we are going to use this shelf here in the shop and there is no need to do that. But edge banding is very, very simple to do and very inexpensive. This shelf didn't cost us anything because we used material we already had in the garage to build it. And many of the projects in the channel, as you might have noticed, include material we already have rather than going out and buying material. Okay, and now we'll show you inside how it would look in a corner. We have not attached it, but we have put it on top of a little table, but of course you will attach it here and here, and it will be able to hold substantial amount of weight. And again, you can leave it like this and make multiple. You could turn it around, and as you can see, that looks like a floating shelf. And of course you can use better wood than plywood than we used. But our design, and the reason we use plywood and we can get away with it, is because we wanted to have a little cavity. So now you can put things here and you can put a plant or something there, and it will be an excellent way to utilize your corners. This is an inexpensive and easy to build project. And again, if you want it to look really more like a furniture, you can use wood instead of plywood. And this can be painted, like in this space, all the wood around it is white, so we would have to paint it the same color as the wood around it. Or you can stain it to match your decor, or even go with bold colors like green and yellow and make it a fun shelf for a child's room. I hope you enjoyed this fun project, and all you have to do here after you attach it to the wall, you go and glue the top and you will be done. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Garage Woodworker, and if you find it useful, please like, subscribe and share, and we will see you soon with another project. Hello friends. One of the least utilized spaces in any home are corners. So let's do it again. Template for the other.
Okay.
So let me clean that.
So you want to just
Yeah.
put it over there?
But should we take it over, you think?
I don't know why.
So, well, for clamping purposes.